as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion for happier, healthier, furry friends.
I'm Karen Carr. I've been a realtor for 31 years. When I made a company change 12 years ago, I chose Lincoln First Realty, now NP Dodge. It's the oldest independently owned realty company in the country. Since becoming NP Dodge, we've continued our tradition of community involvement. Our management and staff are always available to offer support in marketing, technology, social media, and educational opportunities.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
It's the holiday season. Time for work parties, friend get-togethers, and family gatherings, which means lots of eating. Maybe you think you've perfected your holiday meals, and maybe you have no idea where to even start. Let's fix that right now. No holiday party is complete without Führer's cheese spread. It goes well with any type of cracker, pretzels, apples, chili, vegetable chips, and of course, it's perfect to pair with wine or beer. Holiday meals aren't complete until Führer's cheese spread is on the table. Find your own container at your nearest local grocery store today.
You've got used to one segment of Good Takes in the morning, but now there's a full show of Good Takes at night. Welcome into Raff's Good Take on Sports on 93.7 The Ticket.
Welcome in, Raff's Good Take on Sports. Got to change that overlay. That is Chris Raff. I am Harrison Arns. If you guys want to join in, Ham and text line always open for you, 402-464-5685. And, of course, Facebook, YouTube, XL, Channel 961, all great ways to put a face to the voice. And, Raff, it's not like we got nothing to talk about tonight. I think it's been a pretty slow week in college football. No, of course not. Raff, it's been chaotic. The carousel's been rolling. Nebraska's been getting hit with some news. Meanwhile, we just wrapped up with the volleyball regular season. They're number one. Basketball's 8-0 for the first time since 77, which is kind of hard to believe. Men's basketball, women's undefeated. But then, of course, football side of things, not great, especially towards the end of the season. How you doing first, and then we can get into all the craziness.
Doing pretty good. It was a little chilly here in Alabama this morning. It was like low 30s, so made it up to about no snow. Made it up to about 50 this afternoon, so it was a little brisk, but I managed. I fought through it.
Let me switch this up. I'll show you what we're dealing with.
Uh-oh.
It just sucks. It just sucks, Raff. It's just not nice at all. It's been chilly. I know DP's itching to go home. He's not looking forward to walking in it. It's just...
Look at those beautiful decorations, though.
Oh, Raff, it's gorgeous. I wonder if I might be able to sneakily show some of this off. Oh, you can kind of see it. For all those who are watching the stream, we do get the Christmas tree up.
Oh, yeah.
And Raff, you probably missed that, where that was nice. I don't know who does the decorations here, but come down 1040 O Street every holiday. You can feel whatever month or time of year it is if you walk into the ticket studios. We'll do it for Easter or Halloween, Thanksgiving, even like 4th of July. Like, it's everything. So I don't know who does it, but I love it every time.
Yeah, they do great work. I just said they do great work. It's always cool down there when they're down there. I'm not used to my face being so close. I'm like seeing.
I can make this back up if you want. I just did this one. So I was like, maybe this looks.
I'm good. No, I was just joking. Yeah, it was a busy weekend. Thanksgiving went well. Watched a ton of football. Yeah, it was wild. And then Marty Smith and the Lane Kiffin watch. I mean, that was must watch television there for a while. Just crazy with that. We'll get to that more in the second segment, the whole Lane Kiffin. I'd like to talk about that some more. Then you got Nebraska football today, releasing or no longer needing the services of John Butler. That was, I think, a little bit surprising, but then on the other hand, there were some changes that probably needed to be made just with the lackluster, final 3 games for Nebraska football. I think something, probably they needed to shake things up a little bit, and that's definitely shaking some things up a little bit.
Yeah, it's been interesting. Like I don't know who the biggest one at fault was there in that defense. Like, you also brought in Terry Braden. I know he was like a name that a lot of people were high on. I'm not saying he was a big problem there, but maybe not a name that everyone feel like was going to be as game changing. I think people just thought, coming from the Chiefs, me included a little bit, I think I got too hyped for it. I mean, he hadn't really had experience being at that position coach beyond just an assistant. Like, you are the defensive line position coach. And, definitely struggled there. I don't know if it was more on lack of experience, trying to get through, these younger guys and just getting better reps. And then, of course, with Butler, you're taking over after Tony White. Tony White goes to Florida State, which, by the way, was bad defense this year. So I'm not entirely sure what happened there. But, he kind of plays like an NFL-style defense. You're seeing a lot of prevent the pass before stopping the run. And we kind of lived and died by that. I'm not surprised by it. Like, I just think it looks bad on Rule regardless, because you fired him, so it means you were wrong.
Well, one of the things, too, it's just something that I keep on thinking about, too, is if you hire me to be your defensive coordinator or your offensive coordinator, I want to install my system. And I'm not sure, like, this has been talked about enough, but it seems like both the offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator basically came into systems to where they've said, okay, well, we're going to stick with what we're running, but now you're the new coordinator. Like, they said, we're going to stay with the 3-3-5. Well, we've talked to, a ton that Tony White is sort of like the second coming of the great 3-3-5 defensive coaches. Yeah, I know it didn't, work out as well from Florida State as what they had expected that it was going to. But he had it working, pretty well at Nebraska at the end of last year, played pretty well. So if I'm John Butler, and like I said, I'm not sure what his, because he was a defensive backs coach in the NFL, backfield coach. Is he a 4-3 guy, a 3-4 guy? Is that what he, what is your strength? What do you want? And then with the coaches the same way. If I'm a coordinator and you bring me to be your offense coordinator or your defense coordinator, I want to hire my coaches that coach what I coach. So we're all on the same page. And it always feels like Nebraska is kind of like the potpourri of coaches. Like, for instance, the offensive coaching staff. You have Dana, that I always feel like he's always kind of maybe had one hand tied behind his back a little bit too, just for the fact that, have we really seen the Dana Holgerson offense? We've seen him coming into an offense where we're going to keep the terminology the same, and you're going to add some concepts of what you coach. But it's like, I want to use my offense. I want to use my defense. I want to bring in the coaches. Like, he got, the receivers coach, was it Dikeel Shorts? He got him, but then you're coaching with a running backs coach that it's not a guy that's coached with alongside Dana or with Dana or his concepts. You have offensive line coach, you have a tight ends coach. You have all these guys and you're bringing them all together and you're trying to get them to gel. I'm just hoping that with the new defense coordinator, it's like that he hires the coaches that fit like a puzzle, that fit with him, to be. And and if it's the coaches that are here already, that's great. But it's just like I want them to coach their defense. Like the 3-3-5 for what it was or what it is, great. But if you hire a 4-3 coach or a 3-4 coach as your next defense coordinator, run the 3-4 or run the 4-3. Run the defense that they know best.
Well, Raff, I think you make a great point. You probably know all too well. You guys gave up 70 to the Dolphins.
Yeah.
And then what'd you guys go and do? Vance Joseph went to Peyton and said, you got to let me do this.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
let me
gonna
get my defense.
And how are you enjoying that defense this year?
It's just playing well. You know, it was a little rough last night, but we had some.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. It's like if you're a coach, you want to run your offense or your defense. I mean, it's not. I feel like I get it that you want to keep the team gelled with, you know. But where did that get us? We kept our defense, you know, so the terminology was the same as what did that get us? A new defense coordinator.
You're coaching with the tie tied behind your back, and then you're in an uncomfortable situation right out of the gate. That's how you get a crazy score like that. You never felt comfortable.
Yeah,
the players didn't, the coaching didn't.
Whoever they bring in, I just want them to coach the defense that they're best at, and I want them to bring in the people that they feel that they're going to be the most successful with. Like I get it. I know having friends in the coaching profession, and you want to coach with your friends and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, this is big time college football, and your friends you're going to have to be like, hey, I've got to get my best staff, not who are my best buddies.
Yeah, and you know, I just don't know who you get right now. You got to get a guy because now you're in the spot. You go away from the 3-3-5. You probably recruited for players in that style, so you put yourself in a little bit of a spot where even if you do want to switch to the personnel that we've been recruiting match up.
Well, right now, I mean, the leader in the clubhouse is going to be Phil Snow because he's going to be the interim defense coordinator. If they have a good showing in the bowl game, it's going to be like Phil Snow. But I was one of the first ones when they brought Phil Snow in. I was like, if I'm the defense coordinator, I'm like, wow, I think I have a guy looking over my shoulder. So it's like, I don't know. I could be completely wrong on it, but that's just stuff I see. Like if I was defense coordinator and you're bringing in your buddy who was your defense coordinator at prior stops, it's like I'd feel like I'd have somebody looking over my shoulder, and that's hard to coach when you're constantly being micromanaged by somebody other than the head coach.
Well, we've talked about this before. You know, I was talking with Tom Chattel about it. Like Nebraska does do this thing every now and then. That's not conductive of like being a major blue blood. Where even like some of the position coaches, it's like, all right, McGuire, we'll give you a chance. Like,
yeah.
we're not a like first year just get your legs wet school. We should never be that. If we have like an expectation to be a lead, I'm sorry, we are not the place for you to test the waters. I'm sure McGuire is a good guy and all that. I root for his success, but why not here at Nebraska? You don't get to earn your badges at Nebraska, or at least that should be the mindset. And same thing with Butler. Nothing against him, but he's coming down here from an NFL level. And like, are we 100% sure that like this is the guy? It's not, you know, an unexperienced coach, but it was also one of those where like, is this a guy that we're going to really trust and believe wholeheartedly that he knows what he's doing? Or are we just kind of hiring, hoping that it works? And if not, well, you know, we'll have Phil Snow as backup. Like that can't be the mindset. Going back
on the McGuire, you know, you look at the, I keep on forgetting his name, the tight ends coach, offense coordinator, Satterfield. You look at Satterfield. You're kind of saying to him like, okay, he's never been a receivers coach in Division I before. We're going to bring him in. He's going to test things out and see. And he might be the greatest coach ever or turn into the greatest coach ever. But if I'm the offense coordinator, if I'm Satterfield, I'm sitting there going, well, I kind of want to bring in the guy that I coached, you know, might have coached with for the last 10 years or know the way he coaches. I mean, that's stuff like that. I feel like Nebraska takes these swings and misses, and it's like you said, what, you know, I just want, all I know is whatever they do for a coordinator, that they bring in the people that I don't want it to be that the coordinator has to go and completely reteach, footwork, fundamentals, the different concepts of his defense. I want him to bring in people that already are familiar with that, and they can hit the ground running, and they can be gelled together as one. And then that goes over to the players. I mean, I get the terminology, like, well, we want to keep the terminology for the players. But if the coaches don't know what they're coaching, it doesn't matter if they keep the same terminology or not.
Oh, 100%. I mean, that's just, I think Nebraska has to stop taking swings on a lot of these people. Like, you got to be locked in, because it goes both ways. Like, even Donovan Raiola, who's been a long time stay here, and like the longest probably outside of like some of the guys like Coach Brown and obvious reasons like that. But it's like everyone wants to give him a hard time, but just put yourself in his shoes. Like, this lack of continuity is what kills, I think, Nebraska's ability to climb out of the depths of, just tough seasons. Because if you're Donovan Raiola, okay, here's Frost, here's Satterfield, here's Whipple for a little bit, here's Mickey Joseph, here's Dana Holgerson, he's got to be thinking, like, man, how am I going to coach this offensive line? We're getting a new scheme. So you have a hard time assessing, is Donovan Raiola, an issue? Is he not an issue? You just got way too many revolving pieces. And it makes it very hard to figure out where the problems are, because the players and the coaches are all the same. Like, if you keep changing the script on a coach, he's also going to be confused. So, the revolving door has really had its toll on Nebraska. And it's frustrating, I think, to see whether you think it's the right decision or the wrong decision, that revolving door is swinging open again. And it's just kind of like, can we get out of this?
Well, look at it like this. We're going into year four of Coach Rule. What is the Nebraska offensive identity, and what is the Nebraska defensive identity? And then fast forward it. What is Nebraska's offensive identity next year, and what is its defensive identity next year?
Probably different in both years, which is crazy. I don't know.
Really don't know. I mean, you really don't know. And that's
other than it's unsure.
That's stuff that I worry about, that I'm just like, we have got to find, what we are, defensively. Like, we thought we were a 3-3-5 team, but I would assume that next year you're not going to see the 3-3-5, or maybe you'll see versions of it in pass defense, maybe. But I would think that you'll see Nebraska in a 4-3, a 3-4, something more traditional next year with the defense coordinator that they bring in, because I can't believe that you're going to bring in another defense coordinator and go, okay, well, we're going to stick to the 3-3-5. And it's ludicrous to me. That was the first thing that I thought this year with Butler was, I was just like, don't you want to coach, I think the Bills, I asked this earlier, and I'm not sure if they ran a 4-3 predominantly or 3-4, but it's just like, to me, I scratch my head, because I'm just like, if Tony White came back to coach Nebraska, of course, 3-3-5, that's his specialty. You want these coaches to coach what their specialty is. That's why with Dana Holgerson, I've always kind of scratched my head a little bit too. It's like, okay, so maybe next year, let's say theoretically, Dylan decides he's going to transfer out and TJ Lateef remains a quarterback. Well, okay, so you're probably going to put in a little bit more spread offense look, some to use his legs. So is that Dana Holgerson? I just sit there and I'm just like, I always think of Dana Holgerson as coming from like that Mike Leach passing game, the quick shots, the stuff, because that's his lineage. That's who he's learned from, Hal Mummy, Mike Leach, that it just kind of goes, right along the line. But then all of a sudden we're telling Dana Holgerson, okay, well, Coach Holgerson, you're going to run this offense that Satterfield put in, because we want to keep the terminology for the players. It's like, I think you're doing way too much with the players when you need to make sure your coaches are coaching what they're best at.
Yeah, I mean, I don't fully understand that. The 3-3-5 this year didn't make sense unless that's what John Butler wanted to do.
Yeah,
maybe it was, but if it was, I guess no harm, no foul. If that's what he thought he was comfortable in.
Yeah.
But if it was one of those where you made him marry to it, that's bizarre. And I think Holgerson's the easiest one for me to pick apart, where it's like, it's what you want to be your offense to look like. You feel like you're kind of forcing yourself to be married to the run game, which is working, but because it's not really your bread and butter, there's always this just kind of lack of rhythm.
Well, it's like with John Butler, like for instance, it's like coming from the NFL, you very seldom hear NFL teams running a 3-3-5. So my thought process is okay, he's probably more in depth, probably at a 4-3 or a 3-4, because that's what he's been around in the NFL. So I thought, okay, when he's defense coordinator, that they'll probably get back to, traditional 4-3, 3-4 looks. And then they kind of came out like, well, we're going to stick to the 3-3-5 as our base. And then, we'll have some 4-man. And there was a lot of Nebraska in the 4-3 look, but it's like going back. It's like, if I'm the defense coordinator or offense coordinator, I want to run what I know best. I think that at the end of the day is, yes, sometimes you have special players and like that where you adjust your offense to go around that. But right now in Nebraska, I think it's at a point now where it's like you want your coaches to be coaching what they're best at. And I think that's where you're going to have the most success from the players.
Yeah, 100%. I just couldn't tell you which coach is like in the position where they feel like they're able to do what they want. Because again, even with Butler there, like you'd imagine Phil Snow had input. Otherwise, why is he on the staff if he's not going to have any input whatsoever? So right away, you're splitting the job. How much you're splitting it, I don't know. And then Matt Rule's also playing the CEO type of role. I don't know how much input he's having, or if he's totally just kind of trusting his guys. And in the defense's case, his two guys, that it feels like way too many hands were just getting involved. And
look at
the problem.
Well, look at Phil Snow, for instance. Like 3-3-5 is not his defensive, his defense that he runs.
So we got John Butler and Phil Snow both running a defense that they're like not known for running.
So I'd have to imagine if they have a good bowl game, I would think that, and if they decide, that Phil Snow decides that he wants to be the defense coordinator, and that's what Matt Rule wants, that you have to think that they're going to run what Phil Snow's specialty is. I mean, that's like hiring. I mean, it's going back a few years. Like Kevin Gilbride was like a run and shoot offense coordinator. That'd be like him coming in and going, okay, well, we're going to run power I, or Barry Switzer, we're going to run, spread formation. We're going to take you out of the wishbone. Coach Osborne. Well, Coach Osborne was different. Coach Osborne was pretty ahead of his time. He actually did both. If you remember back in the mid 70s, Coach Osborne was leading the Big 8 in passing, and then he decided he was going to switch to the I formation. So
I remember just like yesterday.
Yeah, Coach Osborne was maybe a little bit different. He probably could, adjust on the fly. But a lot of these coaches, it's like you want to run what they're best at. I mean, to me, it's just silly. It's like you're saying, okay, well, we just fired a coach. Well, not fire. Sometimes we don't fire a coach. Sometimes we still
let him go. Yeah.
Or we keep them and move them. But here you have a coach that's maybe not successful or not as successful as they should have been. And you bring in a new offense coordinator, but you're told, okay, we're going to run the same concepts. I mean, isn't that almost like the definition of insanity? Keep on doing the same thing over and over again. Now, I don't know. It's like that's always the head scratcher for me. It was like you told a coach that they weren't good enough to be the offense coordinator no more, but you're bringing in a new offense coordinator and saying, oh yeah, we're going to run the same concept, same terminology.
Yeah, the only thing that really changed was like who he decided to play. Like when Holgerson first got here. Like other than that, I didn't see a ton of changes in the offense.
Yeah.
Emmett was touching the ball more, and we were using the screen game a little bit more than before.
Yeah.
But like it's the same kind of script, honestly. Like they simplified it, but he never like put in his sheet. Like he just brought down like here's 10 plays, really elementary stuff. I don't know exactly what the right mix is, but who would have thought this year might have actually been a year where the staff was too much. Like I wonder how many different opinions you just had in there, and if that's where, because like Mike Eckler, Ed Foley, Satterfield, and then Dana Holgerson, John Butler, Tony White's gone. Well, no, sorry, here's Phil Snow. It's like you had a 2-man at everything. And I get Ed Foley's probably not in Eckler's ear telling him what to do, but man, you just had all of your coordinators stick around outside of one, and the one that left, you bring in Phil Snow as kind of like a mentor. Like, I don't know how I'd feel about this.
I think we're at a kind of a crossroads right now. It's just seeing the performances of the last couple of games that I think if it's a wholesale overhaul with your defense, if you want to switch to a 4-3 or a 3-4, this is the perfect time to do it. Because I think that 3-3-5 has been, pretty well kicked down. And I'm sure if you talk to Tony White, he'd be like 3-3-5 will work. But that's what he's a specialist at. I mean, that's what they coach. That's all I'm saying is no matter who they hire defense coordinator, just make sure they're running what their strength is. It's like, don't hire a defense coordinator and then hamstring them and say, oh, by the way, you're going to have to coach 3-3-5 because we don't want to switch the terminology up for our defense or the concepts. It's like, no, it's like you bring in your defense coordinator, those players, they need to learn and you need to recruit, you need to bring in players. They're going to fit that defensive coordinator scheme. I mean, there's just no other. I've tried to look at, other schools and stuff when they brought in a new defensive coordinator, new offense coordinators. And Nebraska's different in that way too. Usually when an offense coordinator leaves and a defense coordinator leaves, usually all the coaches leave too. Maybe they keep one, maybe. But for the most part, it's a wholesale overhaul because you are wanting to change the dynamics of your offense. So you're wanting to change the dynamics of your defense. So you bring in a new coaching staff.
Yeah. I'll give an analogy. I love my analogies over here. If it was like what we've kind of done lately, it'd be like if I was this renowned media member and DP says, let's go hire this guy, and he brings me into the ticket. But the DP neglects the fact that my specialty was going on Food Network and talking about fine cuisines and how to cook it. And then it's like, I heard you're one of the best in the business in media. Here's the spot. Go talk about Husker football. And it's like, well, I can, say a bunch of crap and I can figure something out, but I can promise you I'm not going to be better than, just about anybody else in the area. Like, it's idiotic at some point when you kind of think of it that way. Now, I'm not saying Matt Rule's an idiot. I don't know what all the parameters were for these coaching situations.
Yeah.
But I think it's fair to say it's dumb to put a coach in a position that isn't his style because it's just, I mean, you're hiring a guy that you don't fully trust. Like, that's just kind of a red flag right out of the way. And you're paying that guy a ton of money and you don't trust him.
Yeah. Well, if you're John Butler, you got to be sitting back tonight saying to yourself, okay, did I really get a fair shake? Did I get to coach what I was best at? And I would assume if you asked him, he'd probably tell you, well, I did what I could with what I knew with what I did. But then you're also you're thinking to yourself, but coming from the NFL, he's used to probably a 4-3, a 3-4 scheme. So that's like me. It's like I'll just keep on harping. It's like whoever you hire, you run their scheme. Don't adjust. Don't have the coach try to adjust because. I mean, there are that's like take it like Lane Kiffin, for instance. Do you think LSU next year is running LSU's offense next year that they're running right now?
Nope.
No, they are running Lane Kiffin's scheme because that's what he is.
Well, so you're not getting him off of. That's what you watched for seasons, and that's what you saw and you liked it. So you're going to hire him.
And those players are going to learn his terminology. They're going to learn his terminology. They're going to learn his offense. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, this is big boy football now. This is, now it's really big boy football. You're getting paid. You're almost a professional. I mean, you're getting paid, so you have to do the work. I mean, there's a lot of work behind college football the way it is already. But I guarantee you LSU next year, the terminology at LSU on offense will be completely different. It will be Lane Kiffin's terminology. It's not going to be one of those, well, we're going to leave some of the concepts in. I'll put a few of my, nope. You do what the specialty is. And that's what I want for Nebraska next year on defense. You bring in whoever you bring in, they run their defense, and then the players, they need to learn that coach's defense, not the other way around.
Well said, Raff. I think you answered the question. Like, I've been hearing this all day. Should Nebraska do a 3-3-4? Should they move to a 3-3-5? Keep it there. Should they move to a 46 front? Like, like an old school. Let's do 85 Chicago Bears front. Nope. The answer is, what did we hire this coach based off of? What defense? Okay, that's the defense he's good with.
That's
let's go run that defense. Like, boom.
And I will continue to say that. It's like right now we don't know what defense Nebraska will be next year. My hope is that the one defense that they run will be what the coach they hire runs and is their specialty. And if you have any questions, look at Lane Kiffin. I mean, LSU has decent offense this year, but I guarantee you next year the terminology and the offense that they run will be Lane Kiffin's offense. And I think that's what the coordinator at Nebraska, the next defense coordinator, should be in that same boat. If they're a 4-3 or a 3-4, or if say you bring back Tony White 3-3, then you run what their specialty is. And that's the bottom line, because I said so.
Most that, Raff, and I think we can go to break on that. We go to break. Right. Raff gives a message to the staff over there in Nebraska. All right, don't go anywhere. We got 2 more segments on the other side. Raff's Good Take on Sports right here, 93.7 The Ticket.
The savings continue all November long at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln. They're extending their red tag sale with machines priced at invoice plus $300. That's it. No freight, no setup, no extra fees. Plus 10% off snowplow kits, 10% off fly motocross gear, and 50% off all in-stock road tires. Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered all under one roof with a large selection of side-by-sides, ATVs, motorcycles, and personal watercraft at their 27th and I-80 location. They can't wait to get you set up for the holiday season.
This Black Friday, it is time to hit your goals before the new year even starts. At Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping, get 40% off our next 10-week challenge, plus 6 weeks for free to kickstart your fitness journey. Start training December 1st with kickboxing, strength training, and personalized nutrition. So when our official challenge begins January 10th, you're already ahead of the game. Spots are limited. Don't wait for January to make your resolution. Start strong now. Visit fxblincoln.com or stop by one of our 2 locations at South 40th and Yankee Hill or North 70th and Vine. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping. Stronger starts here.
MWR is dedicated to building attractive, affordable steel buildings that exceed your expectations. From commercial to residential to agriculture storage, steel buildings are cost-effective, attractive, and versatile. Plus, they're a lasting investment and an ideal choice. MWR uses Sentinel Building Systems out of Albion and can service you all over the state and region. If you have interest in a steel building, post-frame building, or fencing, give MWR a call today at 402-980-5273 or go to mwrbuildingandfence.com.
Hi, Charlie Stone here, and it's that time of the year again. Time for the annual Happy Honda Days at Honda of Lincoln. With me on the line, Andy Goodyear, to tell us all about it.
The exciting news is we have more selection and more savings. We have over 400 new 2025 and 2026 Hondas to choose from, with a great opportunity to get year-end savings on every remaining new 2025.
Do you have some Happy Honda Day specials?
Sure do, Charlie. For example, you can lease a new 2025 Accord Sport Hybrid for just $349 a month, and we have financing from just 0% APR. We've also included over 125 pre-owned of all makes and models, and as always, our certified pre-owns are in this sale as well.
Well, maybe it's time you experience the best. The Honda of Lincoln way of doing business, 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
This holiday season, give the gift of good taste with a gift card from Valentino's. During double discount days, double your discount from $5 to $10 free with a $50 gift card purchase. Valentino's handcrafted pizza has been a family favorite for generations, and our gift cards make the perfect holiday gift. And right now, during gift card double discount days, when you buy $50 in gift cards, get a $10 gift card free. Happy holidays from Valentino's.
Leaves are falling and temperatures are cooling down, but don't put your golf clubs away. Double Eagle Golf makes golf leagues and events possible year-round. Winter leagues begin on December 1st and are open for registration. Check out their deals on monthly memberships and schedule your Husker Watch parties, birthday or bachelor parties, corporate or team outings, or just a good old Saturday with the boys. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street. Book a tee time today or learn more at doubleeagle.golf.
Acreage owner getting ready for winter? Make it easy with John Deere compact tractors and gators from Acres Equipment. Add snow blowers, front blades, cabs, heaters, and loaders to tackle every chore. Right now, in-stock units are priced to move with competitive financing to fit your budget. Get winter ready today at acres.com. Acres Equipment, your acreage handled. Financing subject to approved credit with John Deere Financial. Not all customers qualify. See dealer for details.
Load up on meat and more this fall at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. From now through the end of November, Ferndale fresh turkeys are just $3.99 per pound and in limited stock, perfect for your holiday meals. Plus, you can stop by for lunch on Fired Up Thursday at the Mercado East or Fired Up Friday at the Mercado North. With locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha, get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
If you are a business owner, I want you to think about the amount of time you've spent worrying about safety and security. Lincoln's own experts at Diode Technologies design custom solutions for security, communication, and so much more. From automated security to secure video conferencing, their team sits down with you to get to know you and what your business needs. Manage your operations and get notified when there is suspicious activity. Save time and cut back on stress. Diode Tech always keeps you in the know. Contact them today at 402-793-5124.
Back to Raff's Good Take on Sports on 93.7 The Ticket. With all the good takes you need, here is your host, Chris Raff.
Welcome back in, Harrison, on the ones and twos. Chris Raff, the man from Bama, who used to be right here in Lincoln with a show on AD. Well, what is it? I wanted to say riffing with Raff and AD. It used to be on the drive with AD. Now doing weeknights. You still might catch him on the drive from time to time when AD is generous enough to bring him on. The Raff, before we go anywhere, selfishly, not just for you, but for you as well, and for me, selfishly, I have to do this. Raff, look at us, man. Broncos.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Number 1 in their conference. Chicago
for now. By the end of the night, they're going to be a half a game back because the Patriots are going to win tonight. So
that's why I had to put it up before this game gets over, because they're in the fourth quarter right now. I just wanted to have this moment. Who would have thought that you and me would be sitting here as kings of our conferences? I certainly had it in my bingo card. Never heard me doubt, but Raff, no, I'm just kidding. Incredible. I just wanted to point that out. I have not been apologetic about it. I've been optimistic and happy about my Bears, but it's been bottled up for a long time. So I've kind of been sneaking chances to talk about them.
Your loyal, staunch support for the team this year has been incredible. I mean, you have not wavered one bit. There's been no doubt in your voice. Even when they were getting beat, you were like, nope, they're going to come back and win. And sure enough, they do. And now they're dominating. And now there's talk of probably going to be, Super Bowl Shuffle Part 2. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I want to hear the new lines updated 40 years later. Can Caleb Williams sing? That's what I need to know. Can Rome Odunze, can he sing?
I don't know.
Will Ben Johnson do the video with his shirt off? I mean, these are questions when they make Super Bowl Shuffle 2 that I'm going to be looking for.
I couldn't have said it any better myself, Raff.
Yeah.
Bears. All right, I'll shut up. I will pull back.
I like it.
I got one more time. I got to rub it into Morney Pearsonell's face because he kept calling for the fraudulent Bears, and I don't think he was optimistic on us taking down the Eagles, and we embarrassed them. So I'm excited for that conversation.
Who do they got this week?
This week it's the Green Bay Packers at Lambeau Field.
All right, so that's another one of those games, a conference game. What do they say? A conference game means 2 games, so that's a big one.
They got a tough stretch here. I think it's Packers Broncos. Do we play you guys?
I don't know who the Broncos played this week. I haven't even looked. I've I've been one game in it. Oh, they play the Raiders on Sunday. The Raiders.
Who do they play after that?
The Packers.
Okay. Yeah, we got to stretch here. We get the Packers twice. We get the Vikings one more time. I don't know who I'm missing, but
yeah, Broncos have the Raiders, the Packers, the Jags, the Chiefs, the Chargers.
You guys are sitting pretty good then. I mean, the Jags are good, not great. Raiders, you should win there. Chiefs, you normally be terrified, but it's kind of a down year for the Chiefs, so you feel like you got a good shot, regardless if Mahomes is playing or not.
Yeah. Well, it might
in position to just really need a few more games to get in.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it plays out, and then what the Patriots do. I mean, it's crazy as it sounds. I mean, Denver's kind of like, like Sean Payton said, they're playing to get that first seed in the playoffs. I mean, that's the top seed. I mean, it's a possibility, but then also, Denver, like when you play those close games, like I always say this, when you play those close games a lot, sooner or later it catches up with you. So I'm hoping that Denver can maybe start winning these games by a little bit more. I mean, these fourth quarters and these overtimes, they take its toll on your ticker. I mean, I'm getting up there. I'm not the young in springtime, 20-something-year-old that I used to be, where we'd go to the fourth quarter. I mean, when John Elway was playing, I was like, hey, this is Elway time. So
John Elway of Elway Power Sports of Lincoln.
Yeah. Now I'm having to go back in my old, memories when Bo Nix has got the ball and late in the game, and it's like, all right, keep the blood pressure down. So it's been fun. It's been exciting. I mean, that game last night, that was crazy. I was like, that's like the first time I think all year where Denver's defense was, they were struggling a little bit. Those quick passes were, they were getting the Broncos a little bit. So it'll be interesting to see now what other NFL teams do, because you being a copycat league, to see if that will continue. And then it's going to be interesting to see with that what Vance Joseph will do to adjust to maybe the short passing game.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I just gotta say this though. I mean, this might have been one of like the most fun years in the NFL. Like, cut out the Bears, cut out like your Broncos, but just the chaos across the NFL this year has been. I mean, the everyone's like, hey man, those Rams, that looks like your Super Bowl favorites. Nope, here comes Bryce Young and the Panthers.
Yeah,
take that. Here's a win there. Chiefs, constant favorites. Nope, they're now all of a sudden like, oh, I don't know if they'll make the playoffs. The Bills feel like they're going to be able to run that division for a while. They're looking at Miami and the Jets, like these guys are. And then here comes the Patriots. Year one with Vrabel, and you're like, oh man, the Patriots are back already. I haven't seen this much like chaos in a while. This has been a awesome year in the NFL. I have no idea who's the favorite. I just don't.
It's been cool to see Bryce Young too. I mean, look at the end of last year. I mean, it felt like all the feels of maybe you'd seen the last of Bryce Young at Carolina, that he had a rough go of it, maybe got put in too early. You've seen quarterbacks that have, came out, had rough, rookie first years, and then that's the end of them. Then they're a backup quarterback somewhere. They're playing in the UFL or something crazy like that. And the turnaround and that pass that he had to, was it Tet McMillan or whatever at the end of the game? I mean, just a great throw, and it's cool to see him starting to have success with Carolina.
Oh, especially the way it went down with Tepper and that head coaching staff.
Yep.
You bench him, and I can't remember how it went. Did he get hurt? Is that how he got benched? No, that's how he came back.
They just put him on the bench, and then they got hurt, and then they brought him in back after somebody got hurt.
He got back because someone else got hurt. Was it?
Exactly.
Was it Sam Darnold that got hurt? Or no? I'm trying to think.
Darnold was at Minnesota last year. I'm trying to think who the quarterback was there.
No.
Where is Zach Wilson with the Dolphins still? I don't even know where he's at these days. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, somebody text in if you know the answer to that. Who was the Carolina? I almost said Jake Delhomme, but I guess that'd be about 20 years too early. So,
well, someone can text it in and see if they beat us to it. That's all I wanted to do on the NFL quickly. I just wanted to shower ourselves in grace for being some of the most loyal fans of some of the most iconic football teams in the NFL. Sorry to some of the other ones. All right, Raff. I'm Kiffin. It's been dramatic. I'll let you tee off.
just a wild ride for Lane Kiffin. And the thing that just for me that just keeps on resoundingly as the NCAA has done it. They always cannot. They're just frustrating. I mean, you have to be forward thinking. The NCAA does not forward think. Like to think that a coach, I mean, would you have ever thought a coach going to the playoff, potentially going to get a home game, in the playoffs, that is leaving their team? It's just crazy to me. And then
it's not fun.
And then for Lane Kiffin to think that, like he said something that other than Mississippi, the outside media believes that he should have been able to coach his team, and that it's like I don't see that, because all you would have heard the entire football playoff him coaching was the new LSU head coach, the new LSU head coach, the new LSU head coach, and then say they make a run and they make it to the championship game, or say they even theoretically win the championship. If you're a player, are you going to Mississippi because they just won the national championship, or are you a player wanting to go to LSU to follow Lane Kiffin, the coach? I mean, it's like Lane, come on now. There's any AD worth his salt is going to say, "Nah, Lane, you've made your selection. We've got to move on," because I just don't see how you could have allowed him to coach in the playoffs, being the head coach at LSU.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to, the only way you would let him do it is if you just have no faith for the future. Like, seriously, you're just like,
make a run and call it good.
Lane, all's forgiven. Just go win the damn thing. I don't care if they announce this. Just go get us that. We'll get a bunch of money. We'll see what we can do with that. But those players, like where I'm at, if he's coaching or not coaching, I think unless they make some miraculous run without their head coach, I think the guys are already going to LSU. A lot of them probably. So that's the one area where I could, you maybe let him finish it out, but it's just a bad situation. I mean, you feel awful for the Ole Miss fans because, I mean, can you imagine Matt Rule taking Nebraska to the promised land, and then we get to the college football playoffs, and he's like, "Yeah, I said that Penn State job, I actually am going there. See ya." And then it's like,
I mean, it just got to be the worst feeling ever. I mean, just trying to think about that. But I mean, that's the NCAA again. I mean, there's ways around that they could have got around this. You could do like the NFL does. You start your league year lasts until, what is it, like 2 weeks after the Super Bowl or something like that, and then the new league year begins. Well, why can't the NCAA do the same thing? Like, signing day is this week, I believe, right? Wednesday. Why couldn't you push signing day back about a month or so and have it the week after the national championship game? Have national signing day the week after the championship game, or the new league starts the day after the national championship. So then if a coach has to leave or whatever, then signing day can be a week after that. I mean, basically that's what Lane's dealing with this week. Is he signed, he's got 3 days for signing on Wednesday. It's like, NCAA, just, be forward thinking. I mean, it's an awful thing for these fans of Mississippi that they're going through, but the NCAA could shut this down easily and just be like, new league year. You signed your contract and signed till the end of that league year. Once that league year ends, then you got a week. If you want to switch, go to another school and be a head coach, then you got a week for your national signing day, portal, and so forth. But once again, the NCAA is, they've done it to themselves. I mean, but it's something, when you're not forward thinking, that's what happens, because I'm sure everyone's like, well, there'll never be a coach that leaves that's in the playoff. And then Lane said, watch this.
I mean, the NCAA not making it better for themselves, but also like Lane Kiffin. Like, I was never like a Lane Kiffin hater or whatever, and I never wish ill will, but like, come on, man. You're becoming hard to root for. Can you leave one place without pissing everyone off? It doesn't seem that way. Saban had to cut you off because you were recruiting his players at Bama.
Yeah.
Like, he's kind of sucked to everyone who's given him the opportunity at the end. He's great. He does a lot. But then as soon as he feels like he's done enough, he's kind of twisted that knife. So like, I'm not like man, Lane Kiffin sucks, blah, blah, blah. But man, you make it hard to root for you. And right when you were back, you kind of had that respect. I mean, you just killed your reputation again.
Yeah, it was interesting to see that, way he sort of rebuilt his image through social media. I even put a post up a few months ago that I thought he was America's coach, just as, how he'd captivated, the nation, when he went out at halftime with the couple that got engaged at the Mississippi game. Now I'm sure those Mississippi fans are like, he's in our engagement pictures. Get him out, crop him out. But yeah, it's like, it's crazy to think that, but it's listening to him. It's like, I couldn't, in his press conference today, he was making a big, plea for, it was LSU. It was driving in and seeing the stadium at night. It was the feeling. And then he started, talking in his Ed Orgeron voice, that when he gave him a call, and that he could just feel the magnitude of it, and he made the right decision. And then like a couple minutes later, he comes back, well, the teams put their NIL packages up against each other, and no one could compare to what LSU had. So then I'm sitting there going, so basically you just chose LSU because they have the most money to give their players. Okay, got it. I mean, so at least he tried to make it sound like it was, for just the great tradition and pageantry of LSU. But at the end of the day, it was about the money, and not technically what was going in his pockets, which he stressed that too. He didn't know what the size of his contract was, but like nobody knew, nobody for 1 second thought he was leaving because of the money. For him, everybody knew that he was leaving for the money to get the best players.
Yeah. Also, that is true. I think he definitely went there so you get the best players. Just, dude, come on. You know what the number was. Like, don't act like you didn't. I don't even know what my number is going to be. Okay, buddy. What kind of man are you, not looking at how much?
Heck, if I was the athletic director for LSU, I'd subtract a couple zeros and be like, oh,
you didn't read
it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's hilarious. I did not hear that part of him saying that. Yeah, I mean, it's, it is what it is. The NCAA could do a lot to make it harder for these coaches to do it, because as much as everyone wants to be like, NIL's ruined, these players are ungrateful, and sometimes you do get maybe a situation like that. What's worse? Nico Imealeva? Check it for what it is. I always butcher that. Iamaleava.
Just say Iamaleava.
Tennessee to UCLA at the last moment, or freaking Lane Kiffin leaving his team right after he got him a spot in the college football playoffs. Once again, the coaches seem to be the ones acting more selfishly than the players a lot of times. Like, they talk big, but they'll do some stuff to where it's like, man, you guys can't tell us that it's the players' fault for a lot of this when you guys act even worse.
Yeah, and it's in a way it's crazy, because it's just, what they preach all year, this is one of my greatest teams ever, and I love this team, and he's still like, I love this team. Well, it's like, well, you didn't love them quite enough. You loved your next team more than your past team, because the whole reason why I had to get out of there as quick as he could was because he has to get down there for signing day, and he's got to get a recruiting class to LSU, and they've got to get with the general manager, whoever he selects. I don't know if he's already got a general manager or not, and figure out the roster for next year for LSU. So basically, you chose the love of your next team over the team that you currently had.
Yep. It's a mess. Like I said, I actually was kind of back on Lane Kiffin, almost like, all right.
A lot of people.
Now I'm like, dude, that was messed up what you did. You could not have figured out a better way. Now I get it. The carousel's heating up. You feel like this is your golden ticket, but I don't know. I mean, you can make an argument that
what will really be the dagger in the heart is Mississippi will host probably a first round game in the playoff. Lane Kiffin shows up and you see him sitting in a box or something at the game that night. That'd be the ultimate dagger.
Yeah, that'd be a lot to take in at the very least. All right, Raff, you got anything left on Kiffin before we give it to you for Raff's good take of the day?
That's all my Kiffin for now until couple years roll by and Alabama comes and calling for him.
Exactly.
All right, everyone.
All right today.
got a frog in my throat. I got all emotional thinking about Lane Kiffin. Now, all right, everybody. Today's Raff's Good Take goes out to our buddy, our friend, David Freehoff. David returned back to the gym today, coming back from major surgery. Had been out for a little while, went back to the gym. Just so cool to see his recovery, everything he's been through. He is definitely somebody you look up to. I mean, positive throughout everything, always positive, always a great friend, always a great brother, just a great person. So, David, you are Raff's Good Take.
I like it. I'll throw it out to the snow crews. I know you haven't had to deal with it, but it sucks, especially right after holidays, like your Thanksgiving, you want to get cozy, and then it's like, wake up, buddy. You got to go scoop some snow for the entire city for the rest of the day. And right when you think you're done, we're going to get another storm at night. And it's not going to be a ton, but it's going to be just enough so you have to get up and go back to work and then throw salt on it over and over and over again because it's going to be below freezing. That job sucks. I've done it before. Shout out to you guys who do it, especially the people that are just like shoveling the snow. You get paid well. I hope you do for it because it is a back-breaking labor, but we all appreciate it because these roads are nice and easy for me to drive in, at least on my way in. And I know it's kind of a 24/7 process. So shout out to everybody who does that. I know they don't always get all the flowers in the world. Not everyone likes to thank them, but that was right around the holidays, right after that we start getting the snow. So shout out to those guys for doing it and being available, despite I'm almost positive they would have much rather just stayed inside with some family. All right, Raff, that's going to wrap it up for us. Unless you got any final comment. I can't remember. It's been so long. Do you have a final statement?
Oh, heck yeah, I do. Everyone, have a great rest of your night and be nice to each other.